everyone, it's Sarah, and we're back today with part 4 of my Adventures in Anxiety medication vlog about getting off of some medication for my generalized anxiety disorder. And I have a special little friend here. This is Miss Asterix. I'm working from home today and taking a little break to film this video. And not surprisingly, Kitty Cat is here with us. Miss Asterix is our 13-and-a-half-year-old cat. I adopted her when she was a 3-month-old 2-pound ball of fluff, and she is our precious little fur child. We spent 8 days in Mexico City. We got back on Saturday, and so since we were gone for a fair amount of time, this little one is a Velcro cat when we get back. So I'm back today with part 4, and I have some pretty damn exciting news to share. That's I'm off my Vetsima. I'm completely off of the middle dose. So I've cut my entire Vetsima dosage from 60 milligrams a day to 40 milligrams a day. And that might not sound like a big deal, but it's a huge deal to me because, as I shared in one of my earlier vlogs, the last time I tried to get off a serotonin medication, it took me 5 months. And if I count back and do the math, this took 5 weeks. So I feel like that's pretty good progress. As I shared in my video, I did some travel. We were in Mexico for 8 days, and I really love Mexico. If you don't know, my husband is from Mexico. He's a dual Mexican-American citizen, and so we spent a lot of time in Mexico visiting family. I love the warmth of the people in Mexico. I love the food. I love the culture. There's a lot to love about the country, but it's pretty overstimulating. There's lots of lights, sounds, colors, noises. And since it's a very extroverted culture and I'm not very extroverted at this point in my life, it can be a little bit overwhelming. So I wasn't sure what my experience was going to be in Mexico City. That's probably a different blog entry about CDMX, which TLDR I loved. It was like the rest of Mexico and Europe had a baby. That's Mexico City. It was amazing. I just ate churros and mole for 8 days. That was great. But I was really concerned about what my anxiety was going to be like. So I kept my dosage the same just to stay steady. We flew home. Basically, it was all day Saturday. It's a long travel day from Mexico City to where we live in Seattle. And I woke up the next morning, Sunday morning, with a cat on me, obviously, jet lagged. And I just thought, the hell with it. Today's the day. I feel like crap. I'm going to feel like crap all day because I'm tired and I'm jet lagged and I have a headache. I just felt terrible. So as my pop would say, my great grandpa, might as well be sick as the way I feel. So I was like, screw it, I'm going off today. So Sunday was the day. Today's Wednesday. Today's day 4 without it, and I'm fine. Oh my gosh, I'm fine. I had definitely some headaches and irritability, which has happened every step down. But this is day 4, and I feel fine. I'm generally just a little bit tired. It's been a pretty difficult few weeks at work. Everything's fine. Still doing what I love, still working for the company. It's been tough, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I did it. It feels good. So that's that. We're just going to leave the Fatsima alone for now. It could be that in the future I'll step down again, but I am where I am. Now we turn our attention to Buspirone. And I realized that I spoke a lot more about Fatsima and SNRIs in my first video. And as a reminder, SNRIs are traditionally used to treat depression, but also can treat anxiety. And today I just want to talk a little bit about Buspirone. Buspirone is an anxiolytic, and in short, that means drug that reduces anxiety. So there are many drugs that are anxiolytics. A lot of the drugs that are anxiolytic are much stronger. That's great, but they also have much stronger side effects. So in my first video, I talked about IVin, which is the drug that I use for panic attacks. Xanax is another drug you're probably familiar with. But those are benzodiazepines, highly addictive, hard to take for any more than 4 to 6 weeks. That's not what Buspirone is. Buspirone is actually a very old medicine. It was developed in the 60s. Initially, they were going to use it for psychosis. Don't you love the words we used to use for mental illness? I love looking at different versions of the DSM to see how our language has changed. But it was psychosis. Long story short, it didn't do anything to treat whatever we would call psychosis today. But they did realize that it had this anxiolytic effect. So in the 70s, under the brand name Buspirone, under the brand name Buspirone's the generic that's now available, it became available on the market, and it's specifically formatted for generalized anxiety disorder. There are not a lot of drugs that are formatted specifically for what I have. So when you work with your psychiatrist, it's kind of this hodgepodge of pulling all these different things together that might or might not work, which makes it difficult rather than saying this is the pill. Buspirone was one of the first drugs that we landed on. It seemed to have a good effect, but it didn't fully manage the symptoms. Sorry, she's got the cutest little face. If you're a dog person, sorry, just don't look below here. Well, this is a cat family. We love cats. So what Buspirone actually does is it reduces the amount of serotonin in the brain, and it's going to increase the dopamine and the norepinephrine. So it's just changing the balance of the chemicals in the brain. What makes me very curious is I researched to see, so one of the common things, or one of the most important things for withdrawal is the half-life. So I was sharing that the half-life of Fetsima, which I just got off, was 12 hours compared to Prozac, which is about 14 days. Just to make it interesting, Buspirone half-life is 3 hours. And what that suggests is that could be a very serious withdrawal. But all the literature that I've read and speaking with my physician suggests that it's a very easy drug to get off of. So I'm at this weird place. Tomorrow's the day. I'm going to cut the dose. I'm actually taking the day off. My mother-in-law is going to be visiting us for the next 10 days. We're really excited to have her with us. But I'm taking the day off tomorrow in front of a very long American holiday weekend. And I thought, what the hell? Let's just do it. And what I'm struggling with is how much should I reduce the dose? I actually just want to cut the damn pill in half and see what happens. I might regret this, but I don't know. There's something that's so freeing and liberating about going through something like this, because it sucks. It super sucks a lot of the time, but when you can get through it, it builds your resilience and your grit, and you think, I can outlast this. I can do this. And since I even survived, losing my shit and having a meltdown earlier in this process, I realized, well, it's probably not going to be worse than that. And then I think, but if it's worse than that, I've gone through worse than that. It's going to be okay. So it's at that point if you're running a race or you're in the process of something and you're close enough and you think, screw it, let's just get it done. And that's where I'm at. And I need to moderate that a little bit because I've tried that approach with medication. That was painful. So tomorrow's the big day. We're going to start getting off the other one. And then I'm not sure what's going to happen. I've really been working the last few years on contentment and not always having to rush into something, not always having to change something. Patience is not my virtue. I like movement. I like motion. Some of that is very unhealthy because I do that instead of coping with the feels that I get. So at this point, if I can get through this process, if I can get off this dosage to be taking 2/3 of what I was taking, I actually just gonna, take a big old time out and see what's possible because there's more work to do. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening as I go throughout this journey. It's just to remind folks what it is like to manage mental illness. 1 in 4 Americans will deal with an anxiety disorder at some point in their lifetime. We're the most anxiety-prone nation on the planet. So this is a reminder that you or someone that you love will deal with this in their lifetime, and to encourage you if it's you, and to encourage you to be a support to them if it's somebody else around you. So thanks for listening, and I hope to come back with part 5 to let you know what's going on with the Buspirone. Thanks, everyone. Bye.